All right, let's go through the brief for your summative one. So last assignment for the year, H Radio 223, and this is due in the week of the 13th to the 17th of November. And we'll just go through, like I say, the brief right now in detail, and then we'll look at some parts of the rubric. All right, so let's go to question one. And question one is storytelling and promotions, 50 marks. Let's read out using the rule of four of storytelling as detailed below. Select one of the unpopular opinion or explain yourself topic starters and write your own unique, engaging, and entertaining story that you can tell on air. Your target market for the story will be a 30 to 35-year-old urban woman or urban woman, plural, and that is obviously without having to say it quite less directly. That is very important that you look at the content and make sure that you find the correct angle to obviously make it relevant, relevant to the target market that is indicated there. All right. So let's first look at the two suggested pieces and then kind of look at some examples that maybe you could kind of springboard from. Okay, so topic starters at option one. Unpopular opinions. Explain yourself. A man can get away with wearing almost anything, and you can. Well, a guy can wear trainers with a suit if he likes, and you can wear a hoodie with a suit if you want, but you can never wear fancy black dress shoes and blue jeans. Don't do it. Okay. The other option two is a baby crying on public transport will never be as annoying as someone in the next seat complaining about it. All right, so we'll break that down in just a second. Let's look at the rule of four. So the rule of four, you'll remember that one is to establish the premise, two, show the conflict, three, embrace the glum, and resolve the conflict. Okay, so one of these options here. Let's say you do pick you pick. Uh, let's say you pick the first one. So the one about obviously men and the way that they dress and what is applicable to them. I'd like you to try and pivot that. So in other words, go to another level, another angle of what is given in front of you. I don't want you to create a call out that is exactly the same kind of regurgitation of what you see as, obviously a man being able to wear, like in your call out, I would not like you to say, a man can wear trainers or a man can wear, like you say, a hoodie there, and it'll suit his suit quite well. So when I say pivot, find a new angle, we can say how corporate culture, for example, has changed in terms of dress, like dress code, and it does actually apply to men. It's not actually an exaggeration. You'll find that a lot of men are coming in with their jeans and their, I suppose they're not their t-shirts, but definitely jeans are something that is kind of informal. Nice pair of jeans, nice pair of tackies, and where the women are not exactly, they can't come in with jeans and takers. It looks kind of inappropriate, whatever it may be. So you can talk about corporate culture and the different codes of conduct, for example, that have double standards for women versus men, and that would be a call out that would work there. uh, let's say the baby crying on public transport. You could definitely look at. Um, I mean, I would, if we were looking at the 35-year-old urban woman, we can look at. Just on the top of my head, man. Come on, Chris, let me think of something. Uh, my immediate thing is just about when I see complaining. I see a world that complains. Never mind, about someone that could complain about a baby crying on public transport. and there's some other that is, maybe not in control of a child or whatever it may be. But the easy the easy go-to for anyone these days is that you should complain about literally everything and leave it to that. Complain, no action. Complain, no conflict. Complain, no resolution. Complain, no revolution. Nothing, right? And so I would start looking at that type of conversation, that type of call out. Very important that when you do construct this call out, those rules of four are um, obviously well constructed. Give me a second here. Right. Okay. So in other words, establishing the premise, try and think of these rules, these rule one, two, three, and four, as again kind of like that the hook, the crumbs and kind of the detail that follows afterwards, the payoff, right, and then the resolution, right, resolution of the black card. Establishing the premise is definitely, your hook and crumbs that are combined together. You coming in with a very strong opinion or a statement that is going to captivate the audience into thinking, well, listen, what am I talking about? What is this person talking about? Again, please think about the target market that is indicated here, 30 to 35-year-old woman or urban woman. Showing the conflict is about taking these different aspects of the content and making sure that you are increasing like thought provocation, right? Okay, so you are going to look at different opinions, maybe different facts to include in there. Embracing the glum is really just delving into like more detail and then getting to your particular angle, right? Your particular angle is very important. What did you want to do with this particular call out or this particular topic? And then resolving the conflict again is really that kind of that blackout phase. Where did we go from here? So you might have taken some callers. It could be the end segment considered from when you are taking the callers, uh, or it could in the one summative link, right? Be you saying, well, listen, this is where it stands. We do have the lines open, and this is what you can contribute to the show. Okay, with this particular link. All right. We will obviously be covered in terms of lessons and being able to go through a bit more of a breakdown in terms of some examples that will be showcased within the lessons themselves. Do remember to put this up on SoundCloud on the account that you've been using for your formatives up to now, and then make sure that you do check the mark breakdown, right? Okay. Using the table and prompts below, design a promotion using the play along strategies designed by Johnson on page 227 of the Next Level Radio, and that is for 20 marks. So, and let's have a look at the breakdown. So, the first one, make it a game, not a call to win. And the promotion, name a promotion that you are going to come up with, right? Again, all of these must not be copied from another station or something that does exist. You are more than welcome to look at the skeleton of promotions that are running on stations, and you can devise something that is original and creative from your own account, right? The brand that you are working with the station, and let's say a product brand or a service brand, whatever it may be, mechanic of the game. So the mechanic is telling us how the game actually works. Okay, so first we'll do this, second we'll do this. So first we'll play a sound, two we'll open up the WhatsApp lines, three we will, play some of the voice notes. We'll come back another link playing the voice notes, and whatever we'll announce. Let's say someone that got it right or whatever it is, right? Making it a game, right? So the mechanics you must say step one, step two, step three. How will the passive audience play along? So, for example, let's say we did do a sound guessing game, whatever it is. Everyone in their cars will also be, I say in the cars because that's normally where we are in life, right? Anyway, um, they will play along. They'll also listen and be like, oh, I think that maybe it is like a spoon falling in the kitchen, or it's a cell phone switching on and off, or it is, whatever it is, a laptop charging. Not that that makes noise unless your laptop is going to fall apart. Anyway, okay, so how will the passive audience play along? That's quite easy again, but make sure that when you are looking at the market allocation, that you are stating as many points as the market allocation um, is obviously present for. So if there is 3 marks, then you must make 3 concise, unique points so that you can get the marks as well. Why do you think this ticks the boxes of a play along factor? So again, just in your own thoughts, obviously I say justify, right? Why this isn't a private game, so something that, for example, isn't really something that you know um, it resonates with the passive listener, right? And then we'll look at the different factors here. So before you do start this again, plan, and kind of map out the idea, and like in a scribble book or a notepad for yourself, and then come back and then put this into a structured format. Invite participation using the above promotion you designed. Write out your invite to participate, right? So how will you invite the caller or the callers, active callers, right? All right, listeners, to play along in this promotion, right? Please remember, because promotion it is about, you know, we're looking at a brand. We want to make sure that we are constructing some kind of execution that is alongside with perhaps maybe one of the brands, as I've said in classes, you are promoting a new product or service, or there's a special that's going on, like it's a seasonal special, a Christmas special, a end of year, um, you know, like a Black Friday type thing in November. It might be a university thing, whatever it may be, right? Okay. And then you link that in, you obviously connect that in with the way that you're going to construct the promotion, quote unquote, the game, right? The promotion competition. Okay, anyway, then why do you think that this this invite will work with a passive listener? So it's a bit of, um, it looks like a bit of repetition. These are the mechanics. So the mechanics again of the game, the mechanics of how like the passive audience will play along, and this is the kind of the justification of it. All right. Okay, let's go down to last 3 points here. Game execution, explain how you will prepare your participant off air. So think of yourself obviously as a producer or a presenter that is in charge of their own show, like it does not have a producer. You will set up the caller off air and tell them, listen, yeah, like, hi, what is your name? Tell me where you're from. Okay, so tell me what your suggestions for this particular sound. We're going to go with the sound right now. I'm going to continue with this example, and they will say, "Well, I think it is again. It's definitely in the kitchen. I can definitely say it's either maybe it's laundry going into a basket, or a tumble dryer, or a kettle, whatever it is." And the presenter will say, "Okay, well, great. Um, it's fine. You hold the line for me." And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be letting the song play out, and we'll go back on air together in 45 seconds or so. Just hold the line for me. So explaining that type of just direction will get your 2 marks, right? Prepare that listener. Make sure that you know what they are going to say. When you do go back on air, you'll be like, "Oh, we've got Chris. Chris is from Montana Park in Pretoria. Chris, you have entered this competition. I know, and you've said to me like well over 50 times. I know that I've seen your voice notes come through on the show over the past couple of days, and so it's quite lucky for you to be on air. I'm so glad that you get a chance to maybe win yourself this $50,000 with the sound of Pretoria. I don't know, right? Okay, and then Then I've got a bit of a backstory to the presenter, sorry, the listener, and then I can go on air and create some conversation. Okay. Use multiple choice. Explain how you will use multiple choice questions in your game. So let's go again with the sound. I'm going to give you a bit of clue, Chris. So the sound is well. I'm going to give you three options here that you have to come in and well pick one, and you can be a winner. And I'll say, it's a dog scratching at the door. It's a tumble dryer that has just begun, and it is, I don't know, it's a toilet that is overflowing. Which of the three do you think it is? And then let them cheat. Explain how you allow participants to cheat. And you'll say, I can give you a clue. So it is definitely uh, not related to animals. And then they'll know that, let's say, the dog barking is not a clue. I mean, it's not the option. Okay. All right. Question two. Oops, that's a bit too fast, too forward. Buying and selling airtime, 20 marks, according to John Hendricks and Bruce Mims in Keith's radio station, referral in your book, radio advertising. Just excuse the typo there, is an effective tool for marketers, providing them with, let's go through the 10. 1, reach. 2, targeting. 3, immediacy. 4, loyalty. 5, engaging content. 6, intimacy. 7, synergy. 8, frequency. 9, creative flexibility. And 10, cost effectiveness. Next thing. Imagine that you are a salesperson for the Prime Media radio station 947, a business or client slash client and or right has objected to number 7 above. We look at number 7. What is number 7? Synergy. Yeah. Right. So they've objected to synergy. In other words, the fact that there is no cohesive element to what you are promoting, no cohesive element between them and you, between them and the competition, between them and the listener, between there's no synergy, right? Okay, it doesn't blend well. Okay, it doesn't go together. Synergy is about going together, two things going together well. Enough to produce a nice or a productive outcome. Okay, saying that he is moving his entire media spend to digital advertising as it is more effective. Using point 7 in your answer, create a sales package for this business that serves as a rebuttal. So response to this objection, including a digital plan based on 947's digital community. So, how we're going to build this, let's go through A first. How big the 947 digital community is, and what you're going to do is you're going to screenshot the different 947 digital brands. So, in other words, like the TikTok and the Instagram and the Twitter and the Facebook, whatever it is, YouTube as well. And you're going to obviously screenshot the home pages for each one of them, the landing pages for the profiles, to show that you have a comprehensive but also a potential audience reach of X amount of people. And you'll list, like, let's say 78,000 or 107,000 or 207,000 on each one of these mediums. Okay. To get those 6 marks, nice, easy 6 marks, right? So, why the business must use both the radio platform and the digital community in their campaign? Explain the multiplier effect of using both mediums. So, that is, the multiplier effect was explained in one of the lessons, actually quite recently with sales, and you will take that approach, right? And explain what the multiplier effect is, right? So that I know that you stated it correctly. But also then you will say, okay, this is how I'm going to bridge a gap between what is happening on air and off air, let's say in the digital space. with this particular approach to accomplish synergy, right? So a detailed plan of what digital platforms and communities will be used and how they'll be used in combination with the FM platform, right? So a bit of an extension on B, right? So once you explain the multiplier effect and why it is a good idea to use both of the platforms, both the terrestrial and the digital platforms, then you will say, this is what I will post. These are the type of posts that I will obviously upload to my digital platforms, right? And they will coincide with these type of executions, but you have to actually give like examples of the executions so that I can see that there's again, you've created that synergy, that kind of like nice fluidity between the two, but there's definitely there's identity that I can see in both. They're looking the same. When I say they're looking the same, again, if you're going to go on TikTok, you're going to do a video, like it's got to make sense with what's happening on air, right? So not just the execution of, let's say, a specific whatever it is, like an activation or whatever it is, or a particular competition, but think a little bit broader in terms of like making it fun or making it interesting, like the behind the scenes, or the expression, or the pre or post kind of promotion from the team themselves. However it is, right? Okay, then D, explain in your own words the concept of sales is from Mars, programming is from Venus, and the difficulties that come with the two departments' differing objectives. Okay, so once again, obviously take the approach, explain what you understand from what is said. They sales is from Mars, programming is from Venus. Again, it's in the classes and your books, right? And then you will what I would do is I probably put the two departments in two different columns, or like I say, in two different explanations, right? So first explain sales, explain programming, and what the objectives are as like obviously a separate entity, and then I would explain why the two, like that. I would take another paragraph and say where the two have to work together, and where there can be conflict, right? Between programming and sales, because the objectives, like programming is focused on what goes out on air, but sales can obviously have or does have an effect on that kind of the quality of that content as well. Just like in that, in the same way. So let's say if there's a really bad, a badly designed or orchestrated sales activation, or promo activation, product activation, doesn't matter. It will definitely affect how the programming sounds, right? Likewise, if you go kind of the other way around, if you don't have presenters or on-air talent that is promoting correctly or executing correctly, they're messing up the promo. We're going to have conflict, yeah, between those two departments. Okay, let's look at the last question here. All right, which is a show plan. Considering what you have been taught regarding show development and planning throughout the Radio 2 subject year, produce a show clock and plan for an hour of the evening show on Boston radio, so BMH radio. The show takes place between 7 and 10 o'clock. You can pick any of the hours to plan, any one of those, so 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10. The show clock needs to include all these following elements to get the marks. So all the songs and the music sweeps, right? So the double plays that you're going to be playing. The talk links, where are they going to be? Where do you plan to have them? The imaging. So again, imaging is the jingle, is an ID, it's a feature, introduction, intro, right, piece, or a station ID or a DJ ID, doesn't matter, right? And those go between songs, as you know. right? And any obligations that you see working in the evening, if there is a need for news or weather or sport, then you should include that. Obviously, like you must think about the show. Does it really need any of one of those, right? And if it is needed, this is obviously a trick question. It depends on which hour you are going to pick there. Then you would see, right? Okay, whether there would be news, weather, or sport, right? Okay, one competition that is included. So again, just within, show me the link where the competition is going to be in the clock itself. And again, for clock references, I think we have done in class. And if not, it will be in the final. I think we're at lesson 63, 64 right now. So we have about I think, 18 lessons or so to go. All right, so the show plan. Okay, so the show plan must be a replicate example of this over here. So when I say replicate, you have laid out the design here, or the structure. So you will take the times that that you obviously have on the clock. Very important that you are detailed and accurate with the clock, right? Otherwise, you will lose the marks, right? You will take that and then you will go and you will do the timestamps as you see in the example. Let's say to at 7 o'clock. Let's say there's a 30-second show opener, which is imaging. We'll go from 7 and 30 seconds to 3 and 3 minutes. Along that will be a song, which is the top 40 song. Again, the rotation is very important, right? And then when we count that together, you will see that it obviously with 30 seconds and 3:30, it goes to 4 minutes, and we have a minute for a link to welcome people to the show. We throw forward to the next competition brief or whatever it is. Right, okay. So you must plan the replicate of the clock that you have developed here with further detail of each element. Include a space underneath the table for complete content sources. So, for example, let's say you include the entire story that you want to tell, plus the script, the story, include the competition brief for the competition, etc., etc. Right. So you will lay down the structure here, and underneath there, you'll actually put let's say you have a call out, whatever it is, on let's say woman wearing jeans, at work. The call out content must be available after the actual prep for this. As you can see here, we'll lay it out here. It'll be like let's say it'll say element link, you'll say type, you say content call out, and then the content you'll say here's an introduction to the woman wearing jeans in the workplace. And underneath this table, you will have like a structured content prep plan for this particular link there. Excuse me. All right, use the format below to obviously do the example. There's 3 lines there. Excuse me. And then there's a technical uh, element here just for 5 marks. So please, no plagiarism. If you are going to be using some stuff, just please make sure that you reference correctly, like the textbook and obviously your news, or I say your info sources, and then any marks for any punctuation, grammar, etc., like you come to know quite well. All right, so just the rubric, please just note again when there are breakdowns, right? For example, like here, what is the premise established? What is the premise creative to and entertaining to? When there are breakdowns, please make sure rather to reference the rubric and split up your answers for the question that you are busy with in your assignment so that you can make sure that you can get all the marks, right? Like here, like for the 10, when you are executing, make sure that you do have good articulation, good pace. Like, do you know, like you want to actually, do you sound like you actually want to be here? Is there passion, fun, or humor? You know, telling a visual story. Are you speaking to one person, to the one listener, not using, excuse me, yeah, not using the plurals, etc. Okay. All right, and the same then goes for all of the breakdowns that do follow. Good luck with the assignment. Good luck with the end of the year. It has. I hope you have learned something as well. And please remember to contact me on WhatsApp and say, Chris, I need some help. And I will be very happy to have a session with you that we can go through any other work that you want to submit. All right, any questions about the content? All right, good luck. We'll see you on the other side.